Diamond. We'll go ahead and start with Jordan, then we'll go to Alyssa.
Hey Diamond, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Jordan. How are you?
I'm doing all right. So first, just want to ask physically, how are you feeling?
I actually feel better. Um, Ankle sprains suck in general, but the timing of mine was particularly unfortunate because it's really like 7 to 14 day rest. But considering that we only had 6 days left of our season, it was just like pretty poor timing. But I do feel a lot better.
Great. And just one more question. And this is kind of a mental question, so if it's too uncomfortable for you to answer, I understand. But obviously, you've dealt with your fair share of injuries throughout your career. Then, of course, there was the whole online harassment from different fans stuff. I guess just talk about, when seeing that online and everything, I guess what do you do to overcome that type of stuff? Because I know that tends to weigh heavy on you, whether that's just injuries or just fans being mean.
Yeah, well, I don't really be on the internet like that. So it was like after the game when I like checked my Instagram for like the first time the whole day and I kind of like saw everything, I just like closed the app. Like, and it was like pretty good after that. Like the next day, had a couple teammates like, are you okay? Like, how are you? I'm here for you, whatever, whatever. I'm like, I'm literally fine. Like, my thing about cyberbullying or whatever is just like get off the internet and like you'll be pretty good after that. So I spent the next few days just like off the internet and yeah, peace of mind accomplished.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go to Alyssa.
Hey, Diamond.
What's up?
Not much.
I feel you.
Okay, let's start with off-season priorities, both like life and basketball for you.
Yeah, life and basketball. I'm probably heading overseas. I haven't signed anywhere yet, so still waiting to see where exactly I'll be at, but that's a big priority for me, just coming off of like an inconsistent season like this one. I'm actually really looking forward to going over there. Just playing freely, getting my confidence back up, getting my edge back. That's kind of like the word that I've been like using. I just really need to get it back. I think I've been showered in warm fuzzies all season of just like, oh, we're just so proud of you. You're just your story and like all that stuff is great. And I appreciate everybody for just like loving me through what has been a not so great season, but I'm really looking forward to coming back and having more expectations of myself and from my coaches and fans and just consumers of the game because that's the level of basketball that I want to play at. So I'll be going overseas. And then other than that, yeah, just gonna be chilling.
I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you.
Um, when Dana was here earlier, she talked about how she feels like the Sky organization is going through like a rebrand. Just because you guys have like been here a while, do you feel like that's happening, or like in what ways do you feel that to be true?
Um, yeah, I mean, you could definitely say that because there's just so many new faces. And you got to try to establish like a core that you're going to try to move into the future with, which is definitely something that, we're starting to do with the addition of, our rookies. So yeah, I can definitely see how it can, seem like a rebrand for sure.
And then last one for me on the last home game of this season, I talked to a couple courtside like season ticket holders who have kind of sat in those seats for a long time, like since 2021, and they were just like really sad because they can't afford it anymore. Um, and they talked about you specifically and just kind of like the connection that they have to you. And I was wondering if you feel like there's anything that like the Sky organization can do to make older fans feel like still feel valued.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I'm speaking purely from a non-financial perspective at all, non-economic perspective. I think that they should be able to get their season tickets at the same price that they've, or at a discounted price if they've been holding them for a certain amount of years. Because those are our most loyal fans, and as we know, some of these new fans are uh not the best. So we love our Skyriders, our OG Skyriders. We appreciate them. And it made me sad to hear that some of them would not be renewing, because as they share their connection that they have, like, I also feel connected to some of them. And it's gonna be sad not seeing them in those seats, in the future.
Thanks, Simon. I'm glad the ankle's feeling a little better.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go to Carly and with Mike.
Hey
Carly.
Diamond, how are you?
I'm good, Carly. How are you?
I'm doing good. I have a couple basketball questions. Let's just get right into it. When you look back on just this season, it was a new team from top down, general manager all the way to the last person on the roster. With that in mind, how would you evaluate Spoon's first season as a head coach in the WNBA?
Um, I think that riddled with obstacle is kind of like the first thing that comes to mind. Um, the obvious one just being a first year head coach, and the challenges that come with that. But also just like the different lineup changes, the different injuries, a lot of the changes around the league, right? Like the media attention, the fans. Um, so yeah, I think that there was just like a lot of challenges for Spoon in her first year, which, I mean, I don't know how normal that is, but it seemed a little abnormal to me. Um, but still, was able to show up and be who she is, be somebody that, our fans have come to know and love. And I think that, you know, despite the outcome, Spoon showed up to work every day and put her best foot forward. So, really grateful for that.
With you, you are going to be a free agent this offseason. Regardless of whether or not you do return with the Sky, what's your like top priority in free agency? What's one thing that is like your number one on your checklist?
The edge, just trying to get my edge back, trying to get my swagger back, um, trying to rise to the level of someone who um, is viewed as one of the top players at her position in the league again. Those are all still very tangible things, still within reach. I just have to just go out and get them. So that's wherever I end up at, that's the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to.
And then my last question, the theme that we've just heard from all of the girls today has been consistency. That was just the one thing that this team lacked, was just trying to remain consistent. How can you, especially as a veteran, how do you try and maintain consistency, especially when you're kind of having, as some players have said, anything and everything that can happen to you happen to you? How do you find and maintain consistency through a season?
I think the way that you find it is just by being a pro. You hear people say that all the time, but like, um, it's not something that inherently just happens. You personally, I just came in every day and did what I was supposed to do. Made sure I was lifting consistently, made sure I was working out consistently, made sure I was watching film consistently, and just upholding the label of a pro. as consistently as possible. So I think that that's how you find it and uphold it. It's just coming in every day and being consistent. It's not like this like thing that's like slipping through everybody's fingers that you can't grab. Consistency is really a matter of controlling the controllables, um, and doing that each and every day. So, um, I think that it's going to be hopefully a learning opportunity for everybody in terms of like, like maybe how could I have shown up more consistently as well.
And then I'm sorry, I have one last one for you. I asked you to evaluate Spoon. How would you evaluate yourself this season? Regardless of the injuries, regardless of everything that kind of happened, with this being your first year back after 2 years of not playing, how would you evaluate yourself in your first year back?
Um, I would evaluate myself. I mean, I'm always going to be probably a little bit more critical, just from a performance standpoint.
Right.
But, despite the way the numbers, I'm proud of myself, honestly. I'm proud of the ways that I showed up every day. I'm proud of the ways that I know my teammates and staff and everybody here um, has received me and experienced me. I think I've had really positive experiences here with the organization, as I always do. And yeah, I'm happy to have made it through a full season. You know, Obviously the ankle injury happened, but like I I I'm happy, with the outcome, even though it wasn't the best.
No, understandable. And that's all I have, Diamond. And then good luck in wherever you do go overseas this off season.
Thank you.
Last question, we'll go to Mike.
Hey, Diamond, appreciate the time. During media day, we kind of spoke about just being graceful and just being blessed for the opportunity to be able to play again. And that's kind of how what the off season was like for you, was just trying to get your feet back under you. This off season, now obviously being relatively healthy in the majority of the season, what are you looking forward to adding to your bag or just working on for 2025?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still hunting for uh just being more of a perimeter threat. Just knocking down that three ball more consistently. I know that that's going to be a huge component of opening up the rest of my game. And that's something that I've been pursuing, for a while now. It's been hard with some of the injuries that I've had and having to rehab in the off season instead of like being in the gym. So, that's really a big one. Continuing to just get stronger, make sure I'm coming in the best shape that I can. And just increasing just like my IQ, being more cerebral when I'm out there, um, so that I can help kind of guide my teammates as I move into this era, this veteran era. There's always going to be younger players who need help and guidance, and I just want to be, a source for them in that regard.
And then the last one I had for you, obviously, to kind of piggyback off the veteran leadership, you've been a part of playoff contending basketball before, winning a championship here in 21. How close would you say this current constructed roster was to being a legitimate playoff team, whether that's through Teaspoon's culture that she brought into the organization to the development of obviously the young rookies?
Yeah, we got a lot of work to do. Um, I don't think that I don't even think that we scratched the surface. Um, with all due respect to all parties involved, like we learned a lot from this season about what not to do, what to do, what worked, what didn't work. Um, but we got a lot of work to do. And again, as someone who's done it, who's been there, I just only look forward to being a resource, and a source to help climb that
Thank,
ladder yet again.
thanks, Diamond. Best of luck to you.
For sure. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Diamond. Thank you.